Watching TVC breakfast. Now, from yesterday, the amount of things I saw on social media, I'm very sure Olamide will bring it to light right here this morning. So it's time for Trending Now, where Olamide will give us everything that has been happening in the world of social media and more. Good morning once again, Olamide. I'm very pumped up for this morning.
Good morning, dear. You're right. As soon as I leave this place, at the moment I get home, it's social media. I'm looking for Trending Now stories. And there's a lot to get into, shall we?
Take it away.
Good morning, Nigeria. Like I always say, TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, my team and I do our best on a daily basis to bring you some of the stories that are trending now and shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today with this disturbing news that went viral yesterday, where a fuel tanker overturned on the Liverpool bridge in Apapa, spilling its contents and drawing a crowd to the scene. Now, video circulating online showed some individuals scooping fuel from underneath the bridge, despite the obvious danger that we know is associated with fuel spills. Now, this situation has since been brought under control, with the spilled fuel cleared and the road reopened for normal vehicular movement. Of course, this incident has once again drawn attention and highlighted the serious risks that people take at accident scenes, as fuel leaks can easily ignite and lead to fire outbreaks, explosions, and loss of lives. Many Nigerians online have used this moment to caution the public against approaching tanker accidents, stressing that no amount of fuel is worth a life. Let's have a look at social media. I'll take two tweets. This is very disturbing. Josh Ife said, risking your life like this is gambling with death. After the explosion, it's the same people that will start shouting, the government should do something, but common sense also matters. We need to stop excusing reckless behavior with hardship. Struggling to survive should never mean signing up for a suicide mission. And Daniel Rega says, how will the government value your lives when you always risk it to scoop 3 liters of fuel once a tanker is involved in an accident? Team, very worrying scenes yesterday we saw at the Liverpool Bridge. We're not going to pretend that this is an issue of enlightenment. I believe that we all know, even down to Nigerian children, that fuel is extremely flammable. It is very dangerous. There are many organizations that have come out to enlighten the public, and still this is a trend that doesn't seem to end anytime soon. Is it greed? Is it the rising inflation cost? Is it the cost of fuel at pump price? What is driving people to risk their lives in this matter, Mr. Shomi?
This is obviously a case of greed. I mean, there is nothing that can explain it. We can't say because cost of living is high, food prices are coming down, and we all know that. So there's no reason why anybody will try and scoop, PMS the way and manner those people did, particularly when they know that once there is a fire incident, everybody will get burned. So it's quite unfortunate that we can have people who are still greedy, who are willing to disregard safety concerns for their lives in order to make some little money.
No matter how greedy and hungry you are, you shouldn't be silly. Please mind my English. Because when I saw this yesterday, I was actually pissed off. I'm like, anything could have happened. This is not the first time we see something like this happening, and then it just got fire and everybody is burnt. And yet again, we keep saying the government, but we ourselves, what are we doing? You've seen that this thing can kill you. What kind of greed are you talking about? What kind of hunger are you talking about? If you're not alive, how can you even be alive to eat? If you're not alive, how can you be alive to make money? So sometimes what we do as citizens as well is quite confusing and scary to me. You see a fuel tanker has, fallen down. The first thing you should do is now trying to scoop fuel. I think that, authorities to make sure that they ban this. Right now, let it be banned that any tanker that falls down, nobody should even come close to it. We need to put measures. If the citizens will not listen now, we need to put, safety measures, because some people just act in ways that, I can't even understand. Like, I'm still trying to grasp the reason why you would go to such danger.
Absolutely. There's no other way to describe it other than greed, because you can't, describe this level of foolishness, because one thing is, I think the government, nationally, we have to promulgate a law to ensure that anyone who does something like this should have strict penalty. Maybe they'll be jailed for a certain number of years, maybe not months, because what they are obviously doing there is suicidal. Yeah. Because it's just like, I just want to go and kill myself regardless. And that's not even petrol, it's diesel. So you don't have a generator that can work on diesel. Who do you sell that to? Because one thing is obvious, it's going to be tainted, it's going to be stained maybe with sand or any other thing, which will eventually spoil the machine that you want to use it for. Some people even carry drum. Some carry, huge liters of of bowl, and then they went down there as if manna was raining
so
from
scary.
heaven. It was crazy.
Absolutely. Very worrying scenes. Thank you so much for your input, team. Moving on into the world of sports and social media, the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Rabat, Morocco, has highlighted the challenges and risks that are faced by sports journalists covering high-profile events in Africa. Now, the post-match press conference following Senegal's 1-0 extra-time win over Morocco descended into chaos when Senegal head coach Papa Bouna Thiaw was jeered and booed by some journalists, now leading him to walk out without answering questions. Senegalese reporters in the room applauded their coach, while the hostile environment that was created by opposing Moroccan journalists forced officials to abandon the briefing altogether. The scenes quickly drew widespread attention online, with journalists and commentators across Africa weighing in. Nigerian sports journalists expressed disappointment over the disruption and emphasized that post-match media duties should be respected, and highlighted the importance of professional conduct and mutual respect between journalists and coaching staff, even with the intense emotions of a major final. Now, this is coming amidst heightened concern for the safety of sports journalists at the tournament following the recent deaths of 2 reporters who passed away under suspicious circumstances. Now, Malian journalist Mohamed Soumar and Cameroonian media professional Audrey Bohingo were both found dead in their hotel rooms within days of each other. Now, while authorities reported no signs of violence, both journalists were known to be outspoken critics of football governance, often questioning the conduct of CAF and tournament organization. And even though no official link has been established between the deaths, their timing and the circumstances have raised alarm across African media circles, sparking calls for greater transparency, protective measures, and independent inquiries and the safety of journalists. Have a look at this video. Still in the world of sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has suspended Senegal head coach Pape Thiaw following the chaotic scenes that marred the AFCON 2025 final in Rabat. Now, this controversy erupted deep into stoppage time when the referee, Jean-Jacques Ndala, awarded Morocco a late penalty just moments after a Senegal goal had been ruled out. And in protest, Thiaw instructed his players to walk off the pitch, forcing a near 20-minute stoppage as officials struggled to restore order. Well, luckily, the Senegal captain, Sadio Mane, eventually calmed the situation, persuading his teammates to return so that this match could continue. Senegal went on to defeat the host nation Morocco 1-0 after extra time, thereby sinking their second AFCON title, with the victory overshadowed, unfortunately, by this fallout. Well, CAF says that the walk-off amounted to a serious breach of conduct, adding that such actions undermine the integrity of the competition. Thiaw has since admitted that he acted out of anger and he's expressed regret. But Senegal still carried home the AFCON title. Let's have a look at social media. I'll take 3 tweets on this. Fico says, suspended for fighting corruption. What about the referee and officials of the game? What happened to them as well? Musart Zia says, many think Morocco as hosts did not crown themselves with glory in AFCON 2026. It came all crumbling down in the final against Senegal and the post-match events, including the walkout by journalists. That was a major tipping point. Winning is not everything. And Eagle's Eye Inc. says, a harmless truth. If Morocco had won the trophy, he wouldn't face suspension. This tells you something. Now, Mr. Shomi, unfortunately, I have to make you relive this trauma of this Morocco-Senegal and the AFCON title all over again. But honestly, what we are seeing by the Moroccan hosts, you know, their officials, as well as the people, the Moroccan nationals, is very disturbing. They were hostile, they were racist, and some say there was a lot of partisan politics in the refereeing. What do you make of this? Well, the Senegal coach has now been suspended, but it doesn't change the fact that they've carried home the AFCON title, luckily for them. But it does tell us a lot about what's happening, you know, to African players in foreign countries. Oh,
a lot has been happening in relation to this. It's beyond just being racist, being hostile, or attract stealing of Nwabali, Nigerian skipper's hand towel, face towel. It's beyond that. There were reports in Dakar of attacks on Senegalese shops simply because Senegal won that cup. We've now had reports of 2 journalists dead. We don't know whether it's linked to it or not. But the fact of the matter is beyond that. CAF is trying to save face. They know what led to the problem. Yes, the Senegalese coach should be disciplined simply because he should not have been the one to lead the players, out of the pitch. And he has expressed his regret over that. No, it's fine. He should get disciplined. He has committed an infraction. But the fact of the matter is what led to it. Poor officiating led to this problem. We all know that there was a level of desperation on the part of Morocco to win. We also know that on the part of CAF, according to CAF, that Morocco had been supporting, CAF, for like 10 years running. So whether it's linked to what actually happened, whether they were trying to influence, the whole process, I don't know. But there's a link, in my view, between the CAF admission of Morocco's support and the desperation of officials. And now it's not those poor officials guilty of poor officiating that are being punished, but it's only the Senegalese coach. So for me, I think CAF needs to clean up his house.
CAF, of course, they need to clean up their house because some of my journalist friends from Ghana that actually went to Rabat, Morocco, told me that, it wasn't organized properly at all. What we saw is different from what was happening on ground. For me, my main concern, I'm very worried about the people that have lost their lives. I think that those journalists deserve, for people to know what actually happened to them because the way they died is very confusing. One, they said in the hotel room, like, we need to know what actually happened to these people. Is it linked to the match? I think that needs to be stated out. And for Morocco as well, I hear that they want to sue. I hear that the Morocco team is trying to sue as well. I think they should just accept the loss and just go forward with it. For the Senegalese coach, yes, of course, he should be sanctioned, but I think Morocco needs to take it easy. And for CAF as well, they can do better.
It's very paradoxical or quite ironic when on one hand, we hear that football is language of unity, that regardless of the language that you speak, when it comes to football, we all speak the same language. And then we are seeing this play out, after this kind of, tournament. It's so sad. Whatever it is that we've done wrong, whatever it is that we're doing, even during, after this match, we're supposed to sit back, reflect. What exactly is the end game? What is the goal? Is it because of the money, or is it because of the unity of the African nation, or is it because of whatever it is? So we need to redefine the essence of footballing so that we won't have to be, taking our lives, fighting ourselves, using invectives against ourselves, being racist or anything. So let's just look at the essence of the football, the game itself.
Absolutely. And Morocco would do well to remember that the mark of a true and great sportsman is not only in your physical prowess, but in your ability to accept defeat gracefully. Thank you so much for your input, team. Moving on into the world of social media still, celebrity Nigerian cryptocurrency entrepreneur Linus Williams Ifejirika, popularly known as B-Lord, has issued a cease and desist letter to social media critics Verydarkman, ordering him to stop using the name Ratel. Now, B-Lord announced the move in a now trending post on Instagram, and he revealed that he has trademarked Ratel as his business brand name. In a follow-up statement, B-Lord said Verydarkman can only use the name with his explicit approval. Well, Verydarkman has since publicly responded. I believe we have a video of this. Well, this feud between the two businessmen is the latest chapter in a feud that began in October 2025 when Verydarkman accused B-Lord of hiking up the price of modified gadgets. And he claims that it later escalated into a police petition against B-Lord's business practices. If you don't know, watching back home, Ratel is the name that Verydarkman gave to his loyal online supporters, a word that is now at the center of the trademark dispute. Of course, social media users are watching very closely to see whether this clash moves to court or it continues online. This is very interesting. Let's have a look at this video.
B-Lord have trademarked Ratel, and he has even opened an app with Ratel. As for B-Lord, I really appreciate you for considering to let me use the Ratel again. There was never a time where I was fighting Igbo as a tribe. I never fought Igbos. I am not a tribalistic person. I don't like tribalism.
Very interesting response by Verydarkman, but let's have a look at social media. Let's see what you had to say about this. Dr. Trader says, this is what happens when you don't do your due diligence. This should be a warning to every businessman. Go and register your brand and trademark it if possible. I'll take one more tweet. Fendi says, man's basking in the clouds of engagements from VDM to sell his business. A true and a solid entrepreneur. I like. Team, very interesting dialogue. I have to say, this was a very calculated move by B-Lord. Yeah. At the core of it, Mr. Showmi, he's essentially a businessman. He found a way through this fight and through this back and forth with VDM to make some money out of it. A very humble, I would say, and respectable response by VDM. However, he always has something up his sleeve, so we'll see how this plays out. Also, to note about trademarks is that there are different categories in which you can use trademarks and under different signages. So I guess there must be more to this story.
Actually, what VDM can do now is either to abandon using the name Ratel or to get the consent of B-Lord. Apart from that, VDM on his own part could also check whether the category registered for is 38 only. If it's 38 only, it only means that he cannot use it within a state, a particular state where it's registered. If it's 38 and 41, VDM, I'm sorry, you can't use it all because that is national. It covers your country.
For me, I'm quite surprised that Verydarkman had not, trademarked this name. Let me take you back to when we were having the conversation about Daria Talade and, his wife, when they said they had trademarked Dirty December, and people were like, oh, why did they do that? It's a normal phrase. For me, I agree in trademark. I tell you, every morning I come and I do Good Morning Nigeria, there's a lot to talk about. That is trademarked. Like, I remember when I was going to trademark it, I couldn't do Good Morning Nigeria, so then we added there's a lot to talk about. It's very important to have these things, because oftentimes people like to play smart, I'm not happy this has happened to Verydarkman, because it can be very, very confusing. But I know Verydarkman, he has something off his sleeve. So let's see what happens, because I saw the video that he made and there was a lot of sarcasm in that video. So let's keep our fingers crossed, because I watched that video yesterday. Let's see how it pans out. But it's a lesson to anyone. It's very important to do the trademark.
I just feel like these guys, they like to just disturb us, but it's okay. They give us content to talk about, and that's the fun of it. One thing is, I feel B-Lord actually lauded his, intellect, against Verydarkman by hitting him below the belt, registering a name that is widely associated with, what's it called, Verydarkman. So it's okay. It's family problem. Let them look for ways to, resolve it.
Resolve it, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your input, team. Now.